What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Torae. You know me, live from Brooklyn, New York. Coney Island, what's poppin'? Just put out my sophomore album. It's called Entitled. It's out there right now. Very, very long before I actually got in the recording studio, before I knew what recording an album consists of. You know, as a fan of music growing up, when you decide that you want to be a rapper or you feel like it's your calling or your passion, from that moment on, you start thinking about what your first album is going to be. You start thinking about what it's like and what you're going to do and how you're going to present it and what you're going to title it. And, I started having those thoughts really, really early on. I will say that I always knew, even from the very beginning, who I wanted on my album, and I've said this in interviews before, but DJ Premier and Pete Rock, those two things had to happen. And, I've been fortunate to work with them a few times at this point in my career. But even as a young kid, I was like, yo, when I do my album, definitely got to get DJ Premier on it. I got to have a Pete Rock joint or a Pete Rock remix. That was the shit, the Pete Rock remix. You know what I'm saying? So, again, like I said, I've been blessed to work with both of them. But those were two, very integral parts of what I wanted to do when I set out to even think about making an album. Approaching Entitled it's a new energy. I'm in a new place. It's been 4 years since I dropped my last solo album. And a lot has happened in that 4 years for me personally, I think in the world. But overall, I've grown, I've matured, I've seen a lot. I've traveled more, I've experienced more. And, every album is just me sharing my life experiences with the people. And so, for content or material, there's no lack or shortage because there's always more life to live, and every time you live more, or the more that you live, the more that you have to talk about. Oh, absolutely, always write to the beat. I mean, I may write a loose verse if I'm going to the radio or, what I'm saying? Like, every once in a while I might write a verse, but that's very few and far between, which is a direct opposite of when I was a kid. I used to write rhymes all the time. But, yeah, I don't just write I call it kind of aimlessly. I write I write for a purpose. I write for a song. I write because I got a verse to do, I got a song to do, or I'm doing a project, and that's the bulk of when I'm writing, especially now because my time is just so crazy as far as what the rest of my schedule is like. I definitely don't have time to just sit down and write all day like I used to. So, my voice is the final instrument on the beat. I get the instrument, I get the instrumental, or we in the studio, the producer's making a track, and I'm just listening to all the different elements and figuring out how I fit in there, and then I jump on. Initially, when I started making the album, I wasn't mindfully making the album. I was just kind of going to the studio and recording songs. It was like shit I wanted to say, stuff I wanted to talk about. And so I just started writing and recording. And, before I knew it, I had like 7-8 records. And then I was like, damn, now it's time to, complete an album. And that's when I got into the album mindset. As far as memorable moments in the studio, not too many. I keep my sessions real, close. It's usually just me and the engineer and the producer. And if somebody's on the record as a feature, all my sessions is early in the daytime. Like, I'm mad boring. It's not late. It's not a lot of weed. It's not a lot of Hennessy. It's like 10 a.m. The birds are chirping. I lock in. I leave about 3 o'clock. I go home and I come do radio, and then I go home and I chill with the family. As I started piecing it together, I knew exactly how I wanted to fill it in. I wanted it to start in a certain place. I wanted it to end a certain way, and in the middle was the story. And I wanted the album to start top heavy. I try to do that often. I try to cater to my Torae fans who are coming back. I try to get them early. Bam, bam, bam. Give them 2, 3, 4 joints that they can jump on and be like, yeah, this is the Torae we were checking for. And then, I try to give you something new. And, on this album is, I think a lot more of the heavy content comes towards the end of the album where it turns that corner. And so I wanted to definitely give the Torae fan coming back, I wanted to give them exactly what they were looking for, and then just slowly and gradually take you to where I want you to be on the album. And I think I did that. The album is a cohesive project, and it's sequenced the way it's sequenced because I want you to experience the listen from top to bottom. And what you're going to get is you're going to hear growth and maturity. I think you're going to get what you want as far as the MC, the New York feel, and a lot of that, the general aesthetic that people expect from Torae. But you're also going to feel, the maturity from the last project. And, like I've been telling people, like, you guys have been watching me grow up over these last 8-10 years, becoming a man right in front of your eyes and in your eardrums. And, this is just more of that process on the album. If you're watching this online on your phone, you can go to iTunes or Google Play or wherever you buy your music from. You can call me up, my phone, and get it from me direct, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe we'll put a link on the B-Shine, because that's where you need to be, the bshine.com.